What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Momini's channel. So today is one of your guys' favorite videos because I know how much you guys love my story time videos or my breakup videos. All right guys, so today's video is about a breakup. I can't believe I'm doing this video just because this person was kind of recent. Usually when I do breakup videos, these people are from like 5 years ago, 4 years ago. Like any breakup video I have ever done, like it's always a person that I've dated like years ago. This person, I think I want to say I dated them about a little more over a year ago. We broke up like a little more than a year ago. All right, so I got my little wine here. Again, I didn't have Modelo, so the wine will have to do. So I did take a little couple sips because I just need to loosen up to talk about this story just because it's still kind of fresh. So I already took a couple sippy sips just to take the edge off. You guys might notice too, I do not have nails right now. My appointment is in like 2 days, and yes, I have super chubby fingers. Leave me alone, but whatever. Anyways, first things first, I haven't done a breakup video in a very long time. So you guys know, whoever I talk about, I always change their names. I never use real names in my videos. For today's ex, let's see, what should we call him? Have I used Hector already? I'm not sure if I used the name Hector yet, but we're just gonna go with it. He looks like a Hector anyway. So how I met Hector was, I actually met him through my friend. He actually has like a business. Him and Hector work together. Maybe not this past Halloween, but the Halloween before that, so like a year ago. My friend, the twins, and me we had planned a Halloween party together, and me and the twins were like, we didn't know a lot of people in LA, so me and the twins had barely moved to LA, and we lived in like a fucking gated community, and you guys already know how those fucking communities are. Like, you can't even fart without them fucking complaining about it. You guys know what I'm talking about, those HOA communities. So we can't throw parties in the HOA community. So my friend was like, hey, like, why don't you guys just throw the Halloween party at my house, and you know, we can all do it together. I'll invite my people, and you know, whoever you guys want to invite. So we ended up like collaborating, and we did a party at my friend's house. So he invited his people, and then all our friends came from Sacramento. So we all partied together. So that night, you know, I had barely got to the party or whatever, and my boy was like, hey, like, I want to introduce you to somebody, like, you know, I work with him or whatever. So he introduced me to Hector. So I was just like, hey, nice to meet you, whatever. I was just like, whatever about it, you know? Like, I noticed Hector kept like staring at me, right? So I'm like, oh, like, so then I tell my boy's wife, and I was like, hey, like, who's that guy? And she's like, oh, like, his name's Hector. He's really good friends, you know, with my husband, and he's a really good guy. He doesn't have kids. Like, you know, he's such a good guy. And you know, she sold me the dream. So I was like, okay, you know, like, I'm hearing good things about him, whatever. So later on that night, sure enough, he ends up like trying to holla at me. I ended up giving him like my info. I think I gave him like my phone number and my Instagram. Like, so the next day after Halloween, he's like, hey, like, I want to see you, whatever. So I'm not even gonna lie, guys, I was so hungover from Halloween. I was like, fuck, I'm not even really trying to kick it. But he was like, hey, like, you know, I know you're hungover. Like, if you want, we can have a sesh, you know. And if you guys know what a sesh is, then I have to speak in code because I don't want like YouTube to like flag my video. So he's like, hey, I know you're hungover. Do you want to have a sesh? And I was like, you know what? That sounds really fucking good right now because I just feel fucking sick. So since he was really cool friends with my boy, I was like, okay, like, you know, he's not just anybody. Like, my friends, you know, my boy's really good friends with him. I ended up meeting up with him and whatever, we had a set. Me and him just hit it off, and he was like, all right, like, you know, I want to see you like tomorrow. So then I was like, okay, cool. So then the next day, he took me out to go eat. I forgot where we went. We went to go eat somewhere like in Hollywood, and I had a really good night. And I don't know, like, he was just so cool, and I just had a really good time with him. You know, he seemed like a nice guy. He was a little serious, because usually the guys that I date, like, they're like funny or like, I don't know, just a big personality. But he was just a very like serious guy. So I was like, okay, it's a little different, but whatevs, you know, whatever. We went out to eat, and then ever since then, like, me and him just like started kicking it all the time. And it was pretty like early on, maybe like our third date, he was like, oh, like, he's already talking about like, I'm gonna make you mine and this and this and that. You guys know how men are, they just be running their game. So I was like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I just found myself kicking it with him so much, and I just thought he was a really good guy. And like, I don't know, I just felt like a lot of our interest was the same. Like, you know, we both like to kick it. Believe it or not, you guys, I'm not like a really big fan of going out all the time. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like to step out once in a while, but I'm more of a homebody, believe it or not. Like, I like to chill at home more. And don't get me wrong, a bitch loves to go out to eat. You know, you could take me out to eat anytime, but you know, my thing is more just chilling at home, watching movies, just like stuff like that. So I feel like we kind of had like the same interest, so that was like our thing. And you know, we would like chill, watch movies, we would get food, and we would just have a good time. And then, you know, I introduced him to my family, and you know, my family liked him. So after a while, you know, so just we were just kicking it almost every day, and we're like, fuck it, like, why not just make it like official? Usually when I meet a guy, I'm not like, oh, this is the guy that I see myself with. And I know people say like you shouldn't date unless you're like, don't like, people, I know a lot of people date to marry. So like, as soon as they meet a person, they're like, oh my god, I just love this person. I just feel like me, I'm not that type of person. Like, it takes me a while for me to like warm up to you and be like, okay, like, I'm really feeling this person. But for some fucking wild reason, this guy, I was like, you know what, like, he has his shit together. Like, you know, he doesn't seem like the other guys. Like, I think I like him. So, you know, I thought that I was doing something different, and, you know, it was gonna work out this time. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I want to say like the first month we were doing good. We wouldn't really argue like that. I will say I did start noticing, like, the first thing was that this is kind of like really embarrassing, but it's kind of like a big part of this story, so like I have to mention it. The first thing that I noticed was we wouldn't really be intimate that much, which I thought was weird, because usually, like, you know, when it's brand new with someone that I'm talking to, it's like an all the time thing, you know. And with him, it was only like a once a week thing, right? Which I thought was weird, because usually, I mean, I don't have kids and I'm not married. I would think that if you already have kids with your significant other, you've been together for years, then okay, once a week, I guess people do it like that. But I'm like, dude, like, we're brand new. Like, why is it only once a week? I thought it was weird, but I was like, whatever. Like, I was just like, maybe like his drive is just like not the same as like other people, you know, because men are different. So I kind of like let it go, but it was low-key bothering me, because I'm like, dude, like, you're the only person I'm supposed to be with, and it's only once a week thing. So like, we're gonna have to fix the situation, you know. So I think that was the first thing I noticed, like, the first month. And then the second month, I started noticing like he was sleeping a lot. So like, he would come see me every day, but like, he would probably, when he got to my house, he would be up maybe like the first 30, 45 minutes, and then he would just go to sleep. And I'm thinking like he would like to burn, so I thought maybe he had a sesh before he came. That was kind of weird. I was already kind of suspecting like what's going on here, but I was like, you know what? So after the second month, I did notice him like sleeping a lot and stuff, and I'm like, you know what, like little things kind of started to bother me, like with his behavior, you know. So then I just like, when I'm in a relationship with you, like I'll address the situation. I won't argue with you. I won't yell at you. You know, I had told him like, hey, like what's up with you? Like, so first I addressed the intimate part, and I'm like, hey, like, you know, what's going on with you? Like, you know, is it me? Like, I honestly knew it wasn't me, you guys, just because like I've never had any complaints. But you know, I didn't want to make him feel bad, because I know that that's like something probably embarrassing for a man to talk about. So I had told him like, hey, like what's going on? Like, am I not, like, you know, am I not doing it the way you want? Like, is there something going on with you? Like, and like as soon as I brought it up, you guys, I brought it up like the second month, you know, and I'm like, hey, like what's going on? So he turned like so red, and he was like so embarrassed. He literally turned like a little boy, you guys. Like, he did not want to have this conversation with me, but I was just like, well, I need to know. Like, and he's like, babe, I'm so sorry, it's not that, I've just been working a lot, and I've been doing this and I've been doing that. So I was like, all right, well, so then I thought to myself like, okay, I addressed it. I'm sure that he might be a little embarrassed by it, and he might, and that was not my intention to embarrass him. Like, I literally wanted to fix the problem. So I'm like, okay, you know, so whatever. We're on the second week, I mean we're on the second month now, and I noticed him sleeping a lot. So I would tell him like, hey, like what's up with you? Like, you know, you just come to my house and all you do is sleep. Like, you know, like you don't even talk to me, you don't have a conversation with me, we don't go out. Like, why do you just come home, just come to my house and sleep? And honestly, guys, like I feel like in the beginning he was like hiding his true self. Like he did such a fucking good job with it, just because like he was totally a different person, like nothing of who he really is. So after I brought up like him sleeping a lot, and the month prior the problem was like our intimate life, I just feel like after that I kind of like, I didn't see nothing getting fixed. So I would just kind of like be like, hey, like what's going on? Or like, and I noticed nothing was getting fixed of what I had told him. And I just feel like his attitude towards me was getting very hostile. Like, he was just like angry all the time. Like, I don't know what was wrong with him, but he was just angry all the time. I would tell him like, let's say he didn't like call me, you know, damn near the whole day. I would call him and be like, hey, like what's up with you? Like, why haven't you called me? Like, what's going on? Like, you know. And then he would just go off on me and be like, what the fuck? Like, you know, I'm fucking working, you're always fucking bitching at me. And I'm thinking like, what the fuck? So like his little attitude was just like crazy. Like, he would just lash out on me for little things. Or I'll just be like, hey, like let's just say, for example, I would be like, you said you were gonna get here like at 7 and you ended up getting here like at 11. Like, what's going on? And he'll be like, you're fucking yelling at me, I don't like the way you're yelling at me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I know that I do talk loud. So I was like, okay, maybe it's me. Like, this guy even had me second guessing myself, you guys. And I'm like, damn, like, you know, maybe I am talking to him crazy. And like, you know, the next time I would like approach him about something, I would remain totally calm, watch my tone of voice, and I was still attacking him, and I was still like being mean to him. But you guys, I would literally just talk to him like a normal person, a normal conversation, and he would still lash out on me, saying that, you know, I was being fucking mean to him. And it just seems like anytime I would bring up like something that was bothering me to him without yelling at him or just having a regular conversation, he would accuse me of like, oh, I'm attacking him and I'm fucking yelling at him. But you guys, I would literally be, and I'm thinking like, what is wrong with this guy? Like, why does he always feel cornered? Like, why is he so paranoid for? I remember one day, you guys, because he would like sleep at my house. He would sleep at my house like often, so he would leave his clothes sometimes at my house. And when he would, like, I would like wash whatever he left, right? So I remember I was like washing some like basketball shorts he had left. And I remember I was like, before I throw them in the washer, I was like, you know, shaking them to see if anything would come out. And like pills fell out. And it's like pills that the doctor prescribes you, right? So I'm thinking like, what the hell? Like, that's weird. So then I started putting 2 and 2 together, and I'm like, I think that he must be taking these pills. What really did it for me was, we went to go eat one time in Hollywood, right? So this was, I believe, the day before Valentine's Day. We went to go eat at Hollywood, and we went to go eat at Barry's, right? So for those of you guys who don't know Barry's, Barry's is like this famous like spa. I believe it's in Hollywood. And they sell like this famous like lobster pizza. It's super good. I don't even like lobster, but it's super good. But anyways, that's besides the point. So we're at Barry's, and there's a table of guys sitting next to us, right? And basically it's just me and Hector sitting in one table, and like these random guys are sitting next to us, like at the table next to us. And you guys, literally the whole time he's staring at these guys, and he's just like this, like he's like just staring at them, right? And I'm thinking like, what's wrong with you? Like, you're damn near gonna drool, right? And like, I was getting embarrassed because I feel like the guys noticed that he kept staring at them, right? And the guys would look at him, and he would just look at them back like. And I was like, I was so fucking embarrassed. And I kept telling him like, what's wrong with you? Like, why do you keep looking like that for? Like, why do you keep doing that, you know? And he wouldn't even like respond back to me. And then I'm like, this motherfucker is on something, right? We get home, and whatever, I kind of left it at that. But I think what really did it for me was, so that was like the night before Valentine's Day, right? So the next day is Valentine's Day. So me and him, we went to go have dinner as usual. And when we got home, I was like, hey, like, you know, don't go to sleep, because I already know him, right? I'm like, don't go to sleep because, you know, it's Valentine's Day. Like, you know, I'm trying to like be intimate and stuff, right? I take a shower really quick, you know, before I hop into bed. And when I come out, this guy is sleeping, you guys, like passed out, snoring. And I'm thinking like, you just fucked up my whole fucking Valentine's Day. The next day he gets like, you know, he gets up and he's trying to be lovey-dovey with me. And I'm thinking like, I'm like so pissed at him, you guys, because I'm thinking like, you fucked up my whole Valentine's Day. The night before, you were acting a fucking fool at Barry's. Fucking, you were on one and I don't know what, staring at these guys, like so embarrassing. And I just felt like it was so much stuff, you guys. It was like our intimate life. It was his attitude. Like, how is it that me as your girlfriend, I can't even tell you how I feel without you going off on me that I'm attacking you, or like, you know? The next day, like, you know, he gets up and he knows that I'm bothered, and he's like, what's going on with you? And I'm like, dude, like, you knew yesterday was Valentine's Day and you just passed out. So he tries to make a move, you guys, and he couldn't make a move. So I'm like, and then he's trying, but he can't. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, what's going on with you? And like, he didn't even want to talk about it, because every time I would bring it up, he would turn into a little boy. Literally would turn into a little boy. He would turn red. He wouldn't even want to talk about it. Like, he would just get shy. And I'm thinking like, dude, like, this is not even a man that I'm dealing with, right? Because I feel like a real man would have been able to talk about it, you know? So he ended up like, I was like, you know what, well, I'm gonna leave. Like, I got stuff to do. So I just kind of give him a little attitude, and, you know, I grabbed my stuff and I left. And later on, I ended up texting him, and I I poured out my whole heart to him, you guys, because I just felt like every time I would have a conversation with him about how I felt, and even though I'm not yelling at him, I'm not cussing at him, no matter what way I went about it, I would always get bashed that I'm fucking disrespecting him, I'm yelling at him, he doesn't like me talking to him like that. So I'm like, you know what, the only way to get my feelings across is maybe a text message. You know, some people write letters, so I was like, maybe a text message will be better. You guys, I was literally like crying. And if you guys have been following me for a while, you guys know like I'm not a very sensitive person. I don't really like cry like that, but I was literally sitting there crying my heart out, sending him like a text message telling him exactly how I felt. Like I literally poured out my heart to him, you guys, and I just told him how you know, our intimate life was affecting our relationship. The fact that I couldn't even tell him how I felt without him feeling like cornered, that was another problem. So after he left my house, you guys, I was just like so concerned, and I just didn't really know what to do. And I already had in mind that I kind of already knew what the problem was, and I was suspecting it was the pills. So I actually have a friend who used to be addicted to prescription pills. So you know, I called him and I just explained my situation. I'm like, hey, you know, like I don't know if that's what it is, but I have a feeling that that's, you know, I have a feeling that that's what's going on. So my boy was like, you know what, I feel like that's what's going on. He was like, I feel like he's abusing the pills that, I don't know, like if his doctor gave them to him, I don't know if he's buying them from the street, I don't even know where he was getting them from. But you know, I was explaining to my friend like our whole situation, and I told them what's going on. And they were like, yep, that's exactly what happens when you do so many pills. Like, you can't get intimate with people. You feel cornered all the time. Like, even if no one's, like, doing anything to make you feel like that, like, you just feel cornered. And I was telling him, like, his behavior issues. And he was like, yeah, like, you lash out at people. You're just, like, in a bad mood. You know, no one will be messing with you. And you still, like, lash out at people. So I'm like, dude, that is exactly, like, what's going on with him. I already, like, so at this point, you guys, I already knew that it was the pills. And this relationship just had me so stressed out. Like, I was literally sitting there typing, crying this long-ass message, pouring my heart out to him, you guys. Like, it was like literally probably like this long, and I was just telling him how much I wanted to make it work. And it's so sad, like, now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, why did I even want to make it work so bad? Like, but in that moment, that's just how I felt. So anyways, I told him I would be there for him, and I told him, like, I know that you're abusing pills and I want you to get help. And I told him, like, I really want to make this work with you, but the way that stuff is going, if it doesn't get fixed, like, I'm gonna leave. And at this point, you guys, we have probably been together for like 3 months. And you guys, at this point, like, I had never been with anyone who had any kind of problem like that. Like, I have never dated anyone who had a problem with pills. I'm not a professional. I don't know how to go about it. I don't know how to handle it. I don't know how to help someone. Like, I don't know, right? So after I sent him that long message, I thought he would have called me, showed up at my house. No, you guys, he literally didn't text me back. So you guys, like, I was literally fucking going through it. Like, damn, like, he does not give a fuck about me. Like, you know, and my boy, the one that I was like talking to about like his addiction, you know, he had told me, like, you cannot treat him the way that you would treat like any of your other exes that you're trying to teach like him a lesson, because his mind is not all there right now. Because like, since he's an addict, like, his mind is set up differently. Me ignoring him, me not talking to him or whatever, that was not gonna work on him. So I didn't even use that. I didn't even really use that on him. Like, I was literally sitting there for him, to text me back. And I think 3 days went by, you guys. Mind you, me and him would see each other every day. If we didn't see each other one day, like, we would talk like over the phone. So he didn't come see me, talk to me, text me 3 fucking days. Finally, the 3rd day he texts me. Doesn't even call me, you guys. He texts me. So his message, after I told him all that shit, that, you know, he has a problem and, you know, I'm not happy, I need him to work on this if he wants us to stay together, all he told me was, you're right, you deserve better, and I've just been a piece of shit lately and I miss you. That's it, you guys. And that message was like if a drunk person texted. And he doesn't like drinking, so I know he wasn't drunk. So I'm thinking like he must be on a binge right now. Cause literally, you guys, like, he usually types like legit. And like, I think every other word was like spelled like wrong. So it's just like, that just goes to show when you're with somebody, like when you're in a relationship with someone, like you literally know them so fucking good. So I texted him back and I told him, I was like, I am not gonna continue this with you until you get the help that you need. Like, I want you to get help. You guys, can you guys believe he didn't text me back after that? So I was like, and you guys, like, this whole time I'm going through it because I'm thinking like he doesn't give a fuck about me. Not to say like, oh, I'm the shit or whatever, but usually when a guy fucks up, like, he'll be on my ass. Like, he'll be calling me, showing up at my house, sending me flowers. But it's like, I have never been with this type of person before, so I just didn't even really like, I didn't even know what was going on. But like, you know, my close friends were like, dude, it's because he's not in his right mind, you know, like. And he also didn't want to admit that he had a problem. He did not want to admit he had a problem, you guys. Like, he was acting like I was the one that was crazy. I'm the one that's imagining things. I'm the one with, like, literally that was his attitude toward this whole thing. So then after that, you guys, like, he didn't tell me he wanted to get help. So at that moment, I was thinking like, I need to figure out what I'm gonna do and what's best for me. Because I'm like, I can't keep doing this. Like, I can't convince someone that they have a problem, you know? Like, you can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped. So I was just kind of like, all right, if he doesn't even want to admit that he has a problem, like, it's just time for me to walk away. After that, I already had my mind made up. I'm like, he doesn't want to admit he has a problem. He's not going hard for me. Like, I feel like if he already knew he had a problem, he would have been like, babe, you're right, I have a problem. But I feel like he wasn't even to the point for him to say I have a problem. So I'm like, he's not even at the first step yet, you know? Like, I don't know if you guys have seen commercials and shit with like people who have like, you know, addictions, and they always say like the first step is admitting you have a problem. I'm like, dude, he's not even on the first step yet. Like, so I think that we didn't talk maybe for like 3 weeks. Within those 3 weeks, I think I would get like 1 or 2 messages per week of him just saying like, I miss you, and that's it. Not like, babe, like, you're right, like, I have a problem, I'm gonna get help, or babe, I'm sorry I made you feel, nothing. It was just like, I miss you, that's it. So I'm thinking like, this motherfucker's not taking me serious. Like, I'm just gonna have to do what I gotta do. So I believe after the 3rd week, he's so dramatic. He texts me, right? So he sends me like a picture of like his wrist, and he's wearing like a band. And I guess apparently he had just got out of fucking jail. So he sent me like a picture of his fucking thing being dramatic as fuck. I just got out of jail. Can I talk to you? So I'm thinking like, motherfucker, you had me for like 3 weeks worried about you. Like, and now all of a sudden, because you went to jail, you want me like to have compassion over you. Like, now you want me to like, because you went to jail, like, you want attention now? Like, you want me to feel sorry for you? And I just feel like I'm sorry, but at that time, like, I didn't have no compassion towards him no more. Because I'm like, dude, like, what about me? And at the same time, I know that when you're dealing with an addict, it's not going to be about you. It's going to be about them. But I was just like, I was just kind of tired, you guys. I was just kind of tired. I think we were broken up for damn near a month. So I think like maybe on the 4th week, he started kind of getting it like, oh, this bitch ain't playing, you know? So then he wrote to me like, I'm sorry, you're right. Everything I wanted to hear from the beginning. You're right, I do have a problem, and I have been having a problem for a long time. And I didn't want to admit it. I didn't realize it till you told me something. And he was like, I'm so embarrassed with the way I've acted, and that he does need help, and he just never realized it. And by that point, I'm like, Dude, like, it took you a whole fucking month to realize that? Finally wrote back because it sounded to me like he was more serious about it. And I just sent him like a long message. And honestly, you guys, like, the way I felt at that time was I did want to make it work with him, but at the same time, when you're addicted to something, I mean, eventually you could have control of it, but until you kind of master that, you really don't have control over it. Like, it kind of has control over you, you know? So I kind of knew it was kind of gonna be like a hard thing to get over. So I just told him exactly what I wanted, and I was like, you need to get help. Go to the doctor, you know, go to meetings, go to a rehabilitation center, talk to your family about it. His family didn't even know, you guys. That's how, this is how much of a like he was just a whole different, he's a different person in front of his family, his friends. Like, that just goes to show your girl always knows you better than your homies, sometimes even your family. So I'm thinking, like, I told him, like, you need to tell your family because they're the ones who are gonna help you get through this, you know? Like, you need support, you need help. And he didn't want to tell his family, so I was like, that's fucking weird. And I told him, like, and it's not normal that you have a girlfriend and your girlfriend can't even come to you and tell you how she feels without you feeling attacked. Like, that's not normal. And I told him, I'm like, that's why you always feel so cornered, because since you're addicted to this stuff, it makes you paranoid. It makes you feel like someone's fucking always attacking you. After that, I just kind of left it as, okay, well, we'll see how you do. Like, we'll see, like, if you really do this, you know? So in the beginning, I was just kind of being his friend, you know, would let him take me out. So I think, like, the first couple days, I was like, all right, like, you know, he is trying. His problem was so bad because it got to the point when he was trying to quit, he ended up, like, getting sick. Like, he was very sick. So this wasn't like a recreational thing to him. This was like a everyday thing to him. And that just shows me, like, how much he was taking in, that if he didn't take it for one day, he was automatically vomiting, his stomach was burning. So I think, like, the first week after me trying to work it out with him, I was like, okay, like, maybe, like, this might work. But then after that, his fucking attitude, you guys, just started, like, going bad again. Like, his attitude, like, he would just, like, lash out on me for everything. And it's just hard. It's even more hard when, you know, he was already a firecracker, and then, like, me, like, I'm a firecracker too, you know? So I would just kind of try to, like, you know, calm myself down and be like, okay, he's going through something right now, like, he's trying to quit, you know, this is why his behavior is like that. And it just got to the point, you guys, like, I was crying all the time. I even lost fucking weight. I lost so much weight because I was so stressed out from this relationship. I was genuinely unhappy. And I guess I could have left, like, right away. And I should have left, looking back on it. Like, why didn't I leave right away? I feel like there's this part of me who always wants to help people, you know? So I just felt, like, bad leaving him because I felt like he needed my help. But at the same time, I just felt like he was draining me, you guys. Like, he was draining me of my energy. I tried working it out with him, and when I went back to him, honestly, shit was not better. It's just like his attitude was like 20 times worse. He would just, I feel like he would pick on me because he was like, he was going through his own thing. Like, he would just pick at me for no reason. And overall, I just felt like I was the one doing all the work. Like, I feel like I was the one putting in everything. Like, I feel like I was the one putting in the effort. And I just feel like I wasn't getting nothing back from this relationship. And if I was with Hector for like 2 years or 3 years, and all of a sudden he develops this problem, then I feel like, okay, like, I'll stick around, I'll ride it out with you. But I'm like, I barely met this guy. Like, I have no, like, strings attached to him. There's nothing holding me back from leaving. I don't have kids with him, thank God. We haven't been together for a long time. So I was just thinking, why am I here? Like, I'm just here. I'm not getting nothing out of it. Like, if anything, I'm doing more for him than what I'm getting back, which I don't regret trying to help him. But I just felt like in this whole process, like, I was losing myself, you guys. Like, I was genuinely losing myself. Maybe like 2 or 3 weeks after we got back together, and I just feel like there was no change in him. So I called him that morning and I had told him like, hey babe, I haven't seen you in a couple days, like I'm gonna make dinner tonight, like come through, like I'll cook dinner for you, and like we'll watch a movie, we'll hang out. So he's like, all right. So I told him like, be at my house at 7. By now it's like probably like about to be 9, right? Which I thought was like weird. So then I call him, like, and as soon as he's like, hello, and I'm like, hey, like, what's going on? How come you haven't called me all day? Literally told him like that, right? You guys, he starts spazzing out on me, and he's like, you know, I'm fucking working. I don't know why the fuck you're calling me. And I'm thinking like, motherfucker, who are you talking to like that? And I just feel like, as a man, you should not be in no type of relationship with nobody if your significant other can't even call you and be like, hey, what's up? How come you haven't called me all day? So he was just like going off on me, and I fucking hung up on him, right? I texted him and I was like, dude, like, I called you because I missed you and I thought it was weird that I haven't talked to you all day. And you guys, again, I'm trying not to spaz out. So I'm like, I called you because I missed you and I haven't talked to you all day, and I was wondering, where have you been? If you knew I was cooking dinner for you, I told you to be here at 7. You haven't been here yet. You guys, like, guy tan gordo, he was like, I don't like that you called me and you told me, the first thing you tell me when I answer the phone is, why haven't I called you? That sounds so ugly. So I'm thinking like, you ungrateful ass motherfucker, after I'm over here cooking for you and shit, like you still fucking catch an attitude with me? Estaba hasta la madre, you guys. Estaba hasta la madre. I couldn't do it no more. I couldn't. I sat myself down and I'm like, why do I keep doing this shit to myself? Why do I keep trying to make it work with this guy that I haven't even been with for a long time? He does not satisfy me. He doesn't satisfy me emotionally. He doesn't satisfy me. He doesn't satisfy my body. Like, he just doesn't satisfy anything for me. Like, he's just a person that I have to call a boyfriend, but that's it. Like, he doesn't do nothing for me. Prior to breaking up with him, I already knew I was gonna go out because one of my friends was gonna DJ at this club. So I had already knew I was gonna go out before I broke up with him. It just so happens that I ended up breaking up with him. 3 days later was the event. You guys, I didn't talk to this guy for 3 fucking days. He didn't even call me. He didn't text me. Nothing, right? But I'm like, whatever. I'm not tripping either. Because he writes to me out of nowhere. And he's like, good morning, beautiful. I hope you have a beautiful day. Guys, I hadn't talked to him in 3 fucking days. I'm like, you're so fucking weird. And he texts me, doesn't even call me to talk about it. Like, this guy was the type where he runs away from his problems. So he just texts me and I'm like, okay, motherfucker, you're not gonna call me, so I guess I'll just break up with you to text. So I told him, like, I sent him another message and I was like, hey, didn't even get crazy, you guys. Because at this point, like, I knew I was done with him. There was no reason for me to wall out on him. There was no reason for me to yell at him, disrespect him, put him down. Like, I was just like, I'm done. This is not what I'm not feeling this. I'm not doing this. I broke up with him through text message, and I had told him, like, hey, you know what? I thought about it, and I don't want to do this with you no more. You're not what I'm looking for. I told him, you're not the person that I thought you were. This is not for me. You are looking for something different, and I am looking for something different. And I hope you find what you're looking for, but this is not for me. He had actually left like a bunch of his stuff at my house. So I told him, at the time, Bree was living like 4 or 5 houses down from me. So I had told him, because this is how bad I was done with him, you guys. Like, this is how stressed out he had me. Like, I didn't even want to see his face. So I told him, like, hey, I'm gonna leave your stuff at Bree's house. I had already told Fern, like, hey, I'm gonna leave his stuff here. Can you please just give it to him when he comes to get it? So Fern was like, yeah, like, I'll give it to him, you know. And I don't like involving my family and shit, but that's how bad I didn't want to see him. I took it to like their house so that Fern could give him stuff. And I think like the last sentence to my paragraph was like, that's it, I don't hate you, I never want to have anything to do with you again in my whole life. Make sure you pick up your stuff from Bree's house, and that was it. Didn't text me back, didn't call me, you know, which I wasn't even expecting for him to call me because I didn't even want him back. And so I was like, whatever, it's done with anyways, you know. And later on that night, because, you know, this happened in the morning, later on that night, I go out. So while I'm at the club, you know, I'm posting and shit, you know, I'm looking cute or whatever. And I see him watching my stories, and it's like, I will post a story like right now and Hector's already watching it. Like, that's how quick Like he was just watching my every story as I posted. He texts me when he sees me at the club, and I feel like because he knows I'm a homebody, he probably just thought I would just be kicking it at the house or something, like fucking being sad over him. But you know, a bitch was out. And he fucking texts me and he's like, it's funny how you only broke up with me so you could go out. Like, first of all, motherfucker, I don't need to break up with you to go out, because I'll go out whenever I want to go out. Like, I don't need to break up with you. And he was like, you broke up with me so that you can go out, go talk to those lame ass guys. And you guys, he's such a fucking narcissist. Like, this guy flipped the script on me and he was like, it's funny how every time I ask you what's wrong, you never want to tell me and you just blame everything on me. And I'm thinking like, dude, I never tell you this. Our whole relationship has based off of me telling you what I need from you, and you just didn't care, or you just had your own thing going on that you couldn't care. Like, I'm just like, you know what, I'm not even gonna text back. I'm not even going to like take part in this conversation. I'm not gonna write him back, nothing. I was at the club, I was feeling myself, I was looking good, whatever. Within that time, he started sending me like hate mail like a motherfucker, like every day. I think it's because he couldn't believe I broke up with him. And before that, from what he explained to me, the girls that he dated would kind of like use him for stuff because he had a little bit of money. And I feel like this situation, like, I'm the one that decided to walk away. So I feel like he's not used to rejection. Like, after I broke up with him, he would message me every couple days and he would blow me up and he'll be like, I need to fucking talk to you. And then if I wouldn't answer, he would just go off on me and he'll be like, you are like a little fucking girl, like you can't even fucking talk to me, have a nice life. 20 minutes later, blowing me up again. I wouldn't answer. Please, Mo, let me talk to you. I wouldn't answer. Then another couple minutes later, text message. After we broke up, I want to say maybe like 2 months later, and I was chilling at home. I remember that day, Ramiro and Fernando had actually went to like a Laker game, and small world, but I guess they ended up bumping into Hector and he was like on a date with some girl or whatever. The boys were telling me like, you know what, I think that girl knows who we are. And I was like, why? And then I guess that when they seen him, like they went up to him and they said like, oh, what's up, you know? And they said that the girl kept like staring at them and like just smiling at them and shit. So the boys were like, oh, I think she knew who we were. Like, he must have told her that, you know, whatever, that he was involved with you and shit. And I was like, whatever, I don't know. Maybe like a month after like they seen him at like the Laker game, a business page writes to me, right? And it's like a legit business page. You guys know I never post my relationships. I never post the men that I talk to. So in my story, you guys never seen him, like you guys never seen me post him, you know? No one really knew of him, but this business page ended up writing to me, hey Mo, my friend is talking to your ex-boyfriend Hector, and I just wanted to know, like, is he dangerous? Like, is he crazy? Like, would he ever hurt her? And you guys, I thought that was weird because for one, how would this girl know his name? Like, if I never posted him and no one ever said his name, like in no one else's videos, like how would this girl know his name? My first thought was like, oh, she's probably writing to me because she probably wants to know if me and him are still fucking around, or maybe we're still like involved with each other. I'm a very observant person and I feel like I pay attention to a lot of stuff. Just the way she worded shit, I was like, I don't know, the way she worded it is weird. Cause I was thinking like, I feel like if she really wanted me to know she was fucking with him, she would have been like, hey Mo, like, you know, I'm fucking with, you know, your ex-boyfriend and I just want to know, like, are you guys still fucking around? Like woman to woman shit, you know? She probably figured out that he basically does his little recreational activities. And honestly guys, like, I'm not a hater. I didn't write back. I could have told the girl like, girl, be careful with him, like he's fucking weird, and I just went on about my life. So now fast forward, I could not get rid of Hector after our breakup. I feel like it's so funny because like when I was with him, he wouldn't really interact with Fern and Ramiro, right? But after we broke up, all of a sudden he's like hitting up Fern, wanting to hang out. But But I thought it was weird because when I was with him, he never hung out with Fern. He would never hit up Fern to be like, hey, let's go out to eat, or hey, let's go have drinks. But all of a sudden after we break up, then he starts hitting up Fern to hang out. It took this man, after we broke up, 2 months, you guys, 2 months to come get his stuff. So I'm thinking, like, I feel like he was trying to hold me hostage, you know? Because, guys, a man only, or even a girl, like an ex-girlfriend or an ex-boyfriend only leaves their stuff at your house so they have an excuse to go back. If you're really done with the person, you're gonna be like, nah, take all your shit, like right there and then. You're not gonna let them come back to get their stuff later. Like, nah, take it right now. Finally, after 2 months, he comes and he picks up his stuff. A year goes by, you guys. A year goes by, I don't talk to him. I don't look for him. Like, nothing, right? In that time that we were broken up, like, he would try to like my pictures, try to get my attention. Like, he would try to like call me, I wouldn't answer. I had been hanging out with this guy. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys might have seen that I posted this motorcycle, right? All I posted was the fucking motorcycle. Didn't even post the guy, didn't post his hand, nothing. All I posted was the fucking bike. So I'm hanging out with like this guy, which I've been knowing him. Like, I've been knowing this guy since I moved to LA. Like, he's probably one of the first guys that I met in LA. And me and him were just kind of always like on and off, like, you know, hanging out and then not. Like, me and him just kind of like, you know. Well, I started hanging out with him again. And, you know, I posted the bike or whatever. I hung out with him. When I'm driving home, like, I'm looking at my GPS to drive back home. And I see that Hector out of nowhere DMs me. And he's like, and mind you, I'm looking at my phone because I'm looking at the GPS. So I'm seeing him, like, DM me, right? And he's like, you're chilling with the homie? And then I see that it says unsent message, right? I'm still driving, but I see it says unsent message. And then he sends me another message. Like, I don't know if he thought that this message was gonna sound better than the first one, but he's like, you're on the homie's bike? And I'm thinking, like, you're such a fucking loser. Then he text message, like, he went out of his way to text message me, you guys. Like, he didn't only DM me, but he also, like, text message me as I'm driving back home. He's like, I see you, like, you're chilling with the homie. And then he put like the emoji that goes like that. And you guys, the whole year that I was broken up with him and he would talk shit to me, like, through text message, like, I would never text back, right? Never. But I was just like, bro, it's been a fucking year already. Get over it. And on top of that, you guys, like, I had never hung out with any of his friends. Like, I don't know, I honestly don't even know who he hangs out with because he never took me around his friends. And then on top of that, the guy that I was hanging out with, I have been knowing that guy since I moved to LA. And not once had he ever posted like hanging out with him or like anything, right? So I'm thinking, like, this motherfucker's probably lying because he's psycho. So I wrote him back and I was like, you're a fucking weirdo, first of all. I was like, and I'm gonna make sure I fucking block you off for everything. I was like, and whatever the fuck I do is none of your fucking business. I was like, stop fucking stalking my Instagram. I was like, stop trying to be friends with Fern to try to be close to me because you look fucking sad. I was like, I don't know why you act like that. And you know why you think it's so fucking okay, but it's not. Like, fucking stop. As soon as I seen him typing, you guys, I fucking blocked him, right? Just to piss him off even more. Because now he doesn't have no way to contact me. The next morning, I wake up and, you know, I get a call from the twin and she's like, dude, she's like, tell me why Hector texted Fern and was like, can you believe I caught Mo chilling with one of my friends? And I called her out on it and now she's mad. And she said I can't even hang out with you. Like, she's big mad. And I'm thinking, like, he's saying that I'm big mad. But after I block him, he goes out of his way to still try to talk shit so he could come back to me. I left it like that and I was like, whatever. Like, and I'm thinking, like, he's probably fucking lying. A few weeks later, I ended up hanging out with this guy again. So me and him are just having a good time. And, you know, the next day, he's like, hey, like, I'm gonna drop you off, and then I'm gonna go like kick it with my mom. So when I finally wake up, I'm watching, you know, I'm watching the guy's story, the one that I've been hanging out with. And I'm watching his story, and you guys, tell me why I see that he reposted a video that Hector posted on his Instagram, and I guess that they were hanging out, right? This is the first time I had ever seen them hanging out. So he was probably in a hurry, like, I need to go hang out with this guy so I could tell him that, you know, I used to be involved with Mo. So then the next time I hang out with this guy tells me like, hey, did anyone like recognize my bike? So I thought it was weird, right? This is the perfect moment for me to like bring it up. I had told him like, I kind of want to talk to you about something, and he's like, yeah, like what's up? Do you remember me telling you that I was with an addict and I broke up with him? And he's like, yeah, I remember you telling me. And I was like, okay. I was like, why did I see you guys hanging out the last time me and you hung out? So he's like, what? Like who? So then I start telling him like, this guy, you were hanging out with him. And he's like, that's your ex? And I was like, yeah. I told him everything. I was like, look. And I had told him, I was like, I think it's really fucking weird that he's trying to hang out with you when he never tried to hang out with you before. I'm like, and I feel it's weird that he's trying to hang out with you knowing that you're someone that I'm fucking with. Like, that's weird. The reason why he knows about you, I was like, is because he's a stalker and he was watching my story. I was like, and he's seen the day that I posted your bike. He ended up telling me, this guy, he was like, no, he's like, we have mutual friends. He's like, but I don't know him like that. He was like, but we're not like friends, like we just have mutual friends. He's like, it's funny that he did bring you up. And I feel like he didn't tell me the whole cheese, man. Because like this guy, he's very mature, and like he doesn't like drama, he doesn't like being in drama, and I wasn't trying to I wasn't trying to get him in any drama either, you know. And I was like, what did he tell you? He's like, nothing. He's like, we're just like hanging out. And he was like, hey, do you know Mo? So then the guy that I've been hanging out with was like, yeah, like I know Mo, like why? And I guess he was like, oh well, me and her we're together. And I honestly feel like he went out of his way to tell this guy that he's my ex. So I don't know, maybe he thought that he was gonna stop talking to me, the guy. I don't know, I guess he thought he was like gonna do something with that. And I'm like, you guys, I probably dated him for 4 months. 4 months, you guys. Like, I feel like maybe now he feels like he dropped the ball now that he knows like I'm not fucking with you at all. And the funny thing is, you guys, I'm not even from LA. Like, I'm not even from LA. Shit like this only happens to me, you guys. Literally, I've only talked to like 2 LA guys, and they happen to know each other. Like, what are the fucking odds of that, you guys? Like, I swear I need to fucking leap y'all for my love life, because the shit that happens to me, like I told you guys before, is not fucking normal. And honestly, you guys, I make these videos just because, like, I know I'm not the only one going through something like this. I just hope that he definitely, I hope he gets the help that he needs. I have not talked to him ever since, and hopefully, you guys, I pray that it stays like that, because I literally don't want to have no contact with him, like nothing. Like, I'm so done with him. So you guys, don't forget to hit the like button, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching Mo Money's channel.